Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, September 4, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:30 p.m. Jamaica time. We see that we still have that area across the main development region that has a high chance of tropical cyclone development within the next 7 days. And if we take a look at the infrared right here of the Atlantic, we can see the cloud showers and thunderstorms associated with this entity right here across the main development region just to the west of the Cabo Verde Island. If we take a look at the latest here from the Hurricane Center regarding this system, let us read what they've stated. They've stated here, a broad area of low pressure associated with a tropical wave is producing a concentrated but still disorganized area of showers and thunderstorms over the eastern tropical Atlantic. Environmental conditions are favorable for development of this system, and a tropical depression is likely to form by this weekend as it moves slowly westward at 5 to 10 miles per hour across the central tropical Atlantic. This system is likely to be near the Lesser Antilles by the middle to latter part of next week, and interest there should continue to monitor its progress. And we see that they've given the area a 60% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and a 90% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. If we take a look at the close-up, not really looking formidable at this time. We do see some convection here and there near the possible center of circulation, if there is one already, but nothing really very organized. We don't see some crazy deep convection or anything like that. But it has been designated an INVES. It is newly designated INVES 91L. Basically means that the Hurricane Center is investigating it, and they are starting to use some special supercomputer models to look at the possible intensity as well as track of the possible system. In terms of the European spaghetti model plots, we can see that it takes the system on a westward course, then starts to push it up towards the west northwest for the most part, maybe passing just to the north of the Eastern Caribbean, some of them making it into the Caribbean. The GFS ensemble spaghetti model plots also showing something very similar on that west-northwest kind of track in general, but all of this could definitely change as time goes on. Regarding the model intensity guidance, we see that by the next 3 days, so by the 72-hour mark, majority of these supercomputer model runs make it up to tropical storm status in the green. So by around, let's say, Sunday into Monday, it should already be Tropical Storm Gabrielle, and it definitely coincides with what the Hurricane Center has stated. They've stated that by this weekend it should be a depression, so more than likely by Sunday into Monday it could also make it up to Tropical Storm status, as we can see here. And regarding what the Euro and the GFS supercomputer model runs are showing, the latest here, this is the 12Z run that came out today. This is showing 6Z on Thursday, September 11th, so 1 a.m. on Thursday, and we see where the entity should be located right here. A lot of greens into the yellows, oranges, reds represents a lot of rainfall that we see here on the key on the right. We also see that contour line around an area of low pressure right here pass through the islands for sure. If you remember, a majority of them were taking it up to the north, but clearly the Euro still showing that it's going to be entering the Caribbean. The GFS is a bit more to the east of where the Euro has it, and it is a bit stronger. Look at that. It looks like it is showing 971 millibars, definitely up to hurricane status. Then the Euro just maybe tropical depression, if not tropical storm status by that time. So very interesting. The Euro has it a bit faster and weaker. The GFS has it a bit slower and stronger by the same time period, 1 a.m. on Thursday. It is going to be very interesting to see exactly what unfolds, but we have to stay updated to see exactly what takes place. We notice that every single day the models are showing something different at the end of the 168 hours. So we just have to pay close attention, stay updated. All of these models are going to be continuously pushing out something else that is different all up until the day that it actually hits land for sure. So don't take any one model and run with it. As of right now, they are definitely in agreement that something should be just to the east of the island within the next 7 days. So by midweek, something should be getting ready to possibly affect portions of the eastern Caribbean. And we know that if something should form, we know that the next name on the list is Gabrielle. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we see that we still have that frontal system across the Bahamas into Florida. This explains all of the Saharan thunderstorm activity right up in here. Some of it definitely influencing the weather across Hispaniola into Jamaica. No complaints here. We're definitely grateful for the rainfall. Tropical waves haven't been doing well at all with us. There is actually a tropical wave across the eastern Caribbean. I bet we won't even see much clouds associated with it. And that tropical wave that has a high chance of development within the next 7 days. All of these entities being steered from east-west, all courtesy of that ridge of high pressure to the north. And if we take a look back at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic, we can kind of make out that tropical wave across the eastern Caribbean right in here, definitely pushing through the windward and leeward islands as we speak with some amount of thundershowers. That frontal system still stalled out across Florida into the Bahamas, Cuba into Jamaica. We're grateful for the rainfall that it is influencing across the island for sure. No complaints here. And we can see the clouds associated with that tropical wave trying to get its act together. And clearly we see all of these entities being steered from east to west, all courtesy of that ridge of high pressure to the north. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean today later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, September 4, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast for parts of some eastern, central, and western parishes on Thursday afternoon. And we know that eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? At around 1:15 p.m., the visible satellite image was posted not only here on our Twitter page over the Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page over the Jamaica, on our TikTok page over the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page over the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So at that time, that was 1:15 p.m., we saw some clouds bring some overcast skies, if not some isolated thundershowers, if not scattered thundershowers, across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. Look at the sparkling yellow dots that we know represent lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. Definitely across sections of St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, sections of St. Andrew, St. Catherine, sections of St. Mary, western Portland. And there was some activity just to the east of us that pushed into eastern Jamaica as well thereafter. And we can see it all even better on the infrared right here at around 2:45 p.m. We see the post that was made showing the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, blacks, grays. That represents that deep convection, especially across sections of Trelawney, St. James, Hanover into Westmoreland. Look at all of the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. And we definitely had some of that thunderstorm activity pushing into sections of eastern St. Thomas, eastern Portland, sections of St. Mary, St. Andrew, sections of St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover for sure. That was where the brunt of today's thunderstorm was located. And we can see the visible right here. Just about every parish got in on some amount of cloud cover, if not isolated thunder shower activity for sure. Some of the activity was still pushing in from the east into portions of eastern Jamaica. And even the infrared, at the end of the infrared, we're still seeing some amount of overcast skies, if not some isolated thunder showers here and there across the island. We're going to be looking at what's taking place right now shortly, but there's not much change. It's going to be, a rainy night in some section of the island, lingering isolated thunder showers for sure. And we have the live camera right here from See Jamaica's YouTube channel. This is Little London in Westmoreland. Look at the moderate to heavy rainfall. Look at the strong winds as well that was taking place. This was at around 14:47, 100 hours. That's what, 2:47 p.m. As you can see here, some people sheltering over there near what looks like a gas station. Definitely some decent heavy rainfall. Almost looks like a freak storm at that time. Moderate to heavy rainfall, sheets of rainfall here and there. And this is the norm during the afternoon in Westmoreland for sure. Boy, lots of people would love to get in on some of that activity. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. Taking a look at some of the comments that came in today from some of our followers. We have Mecca Million stating much needed rain. Maybe my grass will be green again. We have October Girl stating raining in Mobay. We have Randale Green stating good evening weather Jamaica. We're getting some rain in Brownstown St. Ann now. Thanks for confirming, Randale. We have Stacey Ann stating rain, thunder and lightning now in Portland. Lawrence Davidson 6195 stating heavy showers in Mobay this afternoon. Speeding Lightning 153 stating it's been raining since 2 p.m. today. It's now a few minutes past 5 and still a lot of rain. Wow, that's a long period. We have Active 481 stating place overcast and dark weather Jamaica. We have Davia Henry stating getting good now in the western. We have Sam Neal stating thunderstorm near Gale in St. Mary. Latoya Taylor stating get a lovely nice rain in southern St. Elizabeth, or southern eastern, that should be southeastern St. Elizabeth. Even on our Instagram page we had some comments coming in. We have Sapphire Willie _Marsh _29 in stating proper showers of blessing in Mobay. We have Realm _JA stating Portmore dry as usual. We have Rain a Shell. Well, we have Shezanti Social 86 stating rain a shell down Ochi. We have a Dav _N25 stating place a washway. I wonder which place that is. We have Cold Hearted _Gangster stating it a deal with us a beer. We have Kemar _JA Highest Youth 825 stating Mommy Bay, I get it. We have one Ryan that _ stating heavy thunderstorms in Hanover. We have Aisha stating no rain yet, but it drizzled a bit. And finally we have Classic _Doll 444 stating rain a tear in Westmoreland. RD _3000 stating St. Thomas rain. And I got in on a little rain this morning in my part of St. Thomas, but just overcast in the afternoon. I think I heard some thunder in the distance, but that was basically it. Alright, so we're going to be reloading the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website. We want to see what's exactly happening right now. The latest still image, the latest Jamaican Doppler radar, the latest Cuban Doppler radar, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar, and the latest Cayman radar. Alright, so the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website is showing 2335 UTC. This is actually, hold on, I think we can get the 2345. I think it's about to come out shortly if I'm not mistaken. Yes, there we go. So here's an updated one. Let's see if we can spot the difference. So this is 2345, this is 2335. Okay, notice the difference. So we had some thunderstorms to the east of us at 2335. We had some thunderstorms across southern Clarendon at 2335. Then at 2345 we see the thunderstorms pushing closer to eastern St. Thomas and Portland. We also see the thunderstorms wherever we have the sparkling white. That's where you know we're getting in on some rainfall underneath some of these clouds. So a section of southern Clarendon right there getting in on some of that. But we're blanketed in clouds as we speak from the eastern end to the western end. So there could be some amount of light to moderate rainfall taking place across these areas, even although we don't see any sparkling white dots that represent lightning strikes. But we don't have the Cuban Doppler, well, the Jamaican Doppler radar to show, glitched out again for the millionth time. The Cuban Doppler radar looks like it also glitched out. This was at around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, which is actually 5 p.m. Jamaica time. But at that time, we saw that almost every, looks like northern to western parishes engulfed in some amount of rainfall, in the greens and the yellows, moderate to some heavy rainfall. And we also saw some rain bands coming into sections of the east as well. The Guantanamo Bay U.S. Navy radar confirming some rainfall that we're seeing across northwestern Haiti, sections of southeastern Cuba. Not really seeing much of anything across northeastern parishes in Jamaica at this time. But we have the Cayman Doppler radar imagery right here showing the blues represent some light rainfall across the northern and western end of the island. So that indeed confirms what we're seeing here on the latest still image. All of these clouds definitely bring some light rain into sections of some central and western parishes as we speak, as confirmed by the Cayman Doppler radar. We can also see some rainfall out to sea to the west of us. Greens into the yellows are some moderate to slightly heavy rainfall. Regarding the live camera here from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, this is downtown Kingston. As you can see here, nothing in the way of bad weather taking place. People walking about, going about their business, doing their last minute back to school shopping for sure. People in their vehicles going about their business as well. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're 26 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Friday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Friday, and we see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight yellows. That represents what we see here on the key on the right. That's at least 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures. I know the normal temperature for the month of September across Jamaica is close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 32.2 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32.2 to 33.2 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Friday. And unfortunately, we have some maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS Online's Twitter page that we have to highlight. And we know that we have to highlight these because we know that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or AC to cool us down. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, please let them know that the power outage is coming their way on Friday, September 5, 2025. We're referring to Packet Tree or Beeston Spring in the parish of Westmoreland from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're also referring to Bonner District or Point Hill in St. Catherine from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sun Valley Road as well as Albion in St. James from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. It's Friday after all, so dress down. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Be cool, stay indoors and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugar drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. The yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds, and we can see the abundance of dry air all the way from Africa across portion of the main development region into the Caribbean. We know that the dry air is responsible for keeping the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain in general. But we're liking that we're seeing a lot of blues here and there, the southwestern Atlantic into the Bahamas, Greater Antilles, into the southern Gulf, in and around Central America, in and around the intertropical convergence zone. And notice wherever we have the moist air, that's where we have the clouds, that we get more rainfall, and that's what we want. We want more rainfalls, that we get more water in our pipes, especially across Jamaica. Regarding the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, so we're heading into September 5, September 6, and September 7. And as you can see here, Jamaica should be in the clear for all 3 days. As you can see here, we have some Saharan dust pushing through from the main development region, but as you can see, the more west it pushes, the more it decreases in intensity. We saw it in the orange shades, then we're seeing it push and becoming more so into the yellows, into the greens, and then by the time it makes it to the Jamaica era, not really much of it is left, just some slight greens. We won't even notice that Saharan dust hazy skies at all, and that's what we want. We don't want Saharan dust at all. We don't want respiratory illnesses at all either. You know, it can trigger asthma issues, not to mention sinusitis issues as well. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can clearly see that we have the light shades of blues into the dark shades of blues extending from the Gulf into the Bahamas, Western Caribbean, into the Central to the Eastern Caribbean. Now we know represents what we see here on the key on the bottom right, anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height, and that's because of the winds that are expected. Still seeing more variable winds here and there across the Gulf, averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 knots. More of an easterly to kind of east-southeasterly flow across the Caribbean, averaging anywhere from 15 to 20 knots, maybe even gusting up to 25 knots right here near the ABC Islands, just to the north of northwestern Venezuela. But regarding Jamaica's wave forecast, this is for the fisher folk. We have 0.9 of a meter wave height to the north of Portland. To the south of St. Thomas, 1.1 meter wave height expected tomorrow. To the north of St. Anne, 0.7 of a meter wave height expected. To the south of Clarendon, 1 meter wave height expected. To the north of Hanover, we have 0.6 of a meter wave height expected. To the south of Westmoreland, 0.8 of a meter wave height expected. And that's because of the winds that are expected tomorrow. We see more of an easterly flow from east-west across the island for sure. Tomorrow to the north of St. Anne looks like 13 knot winds. To the north of Portland, 12 knot winds. To the south of St. Thomas, 12 knot winds. To the south of Manchester, 15 knot winds. And we can see where the air is going to be piling up. Wherever we have the blues, that's where we're going to be having the least amount of wind. That's where we're going to be having those low-level clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. And we have that daytime heating during the afternoon hours, and the upper level wind shear is still coming in from the northeast tomorrow, so we still have a nice pattern for rainfall for sure. As you can see, just like how we had the cloud tops being sheared off from northeast to southwest, definitely bring more overcast skies, if not thunder showers to sections of most parishes. That's what's going to be taking place once again on Friday. So we're stuck in this kind of wet pattern. No complaints here, we want more of it for sure. And regarding the actual rainfall forecast maps, first of all, yes, we still see some lingering showers affecting portion of the island tonight for sure. Just reloaded and saw more thunderstorms here and there across the island, especially in the east. So I expect some lingering thunder showers tonight across section of the island, but we didn't see much of anything for Friday morning. However, on Friday afternoon, by around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 1 p.m. Jamaica time, we're starting to see some of the rainfall coming in. The Euro here showing the blues into the dark blues, greens, yellows. That's crazy. Across sections of some central and western parishes. The GFS showing something similar across the very same areas, especially central and western parishes for sure. And we are also seeing some blues out to sea to the east of us, and who knows, maybe some of this might break off and push off into sections of eastern Jamaica once again. Can't rule out some of this rainfall out east, even although we don't see much of anything across eastern Jamaica. Sometimes we get rainfall there, so look out for some rainfall across sections of some eastern, central and western parishes, especially the north coast, where you see here the GFS not really highlighting the southern areas at all. So don't get upset if you're in southern Manchester, southern Clarendon, Portmore, and you're not getting that much of anything. Clearly, we're talking about the shaded areas. This is for 1 p.m. Who knows? Maybe by 2, 3, 4, it has shifted and started to affect other areas. But by this time, we're seeing the rainfall across section of northern St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, section of northern Clarendon, northern St. Catherine, sections of St. Andrew. Some of this might even push in from the east to affect sections of St. Thomas and Portland. So it's definitely eastern, central, and western parishes getting on that rainfall. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here from the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that it's going to be raining somewhere in Jamaica within the next 24 hours. Both maps right here are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday. And we see Jamaica shaded in the greens, yellows, oranges, and reds that represents close to an inch of rainfall. The Euro going up to at least 0.75 of an inch of rainfall. The GFS going up to at least 0.9 of an inch of rainfall. Very interesting. That's almost an inch of rainfall. Take these forecasts with a grain of salt. It could be more rainfall than that affecting an area. It could be less. As a matter of fact, with some of these colors that we're seeing here, I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting on maybe a freak storm or two, or even some isolated flash flooding, especially across these areas that are shaded out west in the greens, yellows, oranges. So section of maybe Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland. Look out, maybe some isolated flash flooding, if not a freak storm in your way on a Friday. And whatever happens, we'll take it. We're in the month of September. We're in our primary rainy season now, and we're tired of the heat. We're tired of the drought. In Kingston, whose biography is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive close to 100 millimeters of rainfall. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall for the month of September. In Montego Bay, we usually receive close to 7 inches of rainfall for the month of September. That's almost what? I think that's almost 175 millimeters of rainfall, if I'm not mistaken. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of September or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go to the next one, just 68 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens that represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. So we're comparing the Euro first with the GFS, and we're starting with Saturday since we already looked at Friday's forecast. 12Z on Saturday is actually 7 a.m. and we see some rainfall to the south of us in the greens. Then on Saturday afternoon, look at that, we're seeing the greens across eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. What does the GFS show? Saturday morning, we're also seeing that moisture to the south of us. Then on Saturday afternoon, it looks to be more so across central and western parishes. What do we see on Sunday morning? Sunday morning, we're actually seeing some rainfall across some eastern parishes on the Euro. Then on Sunday afternoon, it looks like some rainfall is affecting central and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Sunday morning, not really much of anything on the GFS. Sunday afternoon, some rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. What do we see on Monday morning? On Monday morning, not really seeing much of anything across Jamaica at that time. Then on a Monday afternoon, we're seeing some isolated showers across the eastern end and the western end. What does the GFS show for Monday morning? Monday morning, rainfall to the west of us, rainfall to the north of us. Then on Monday afternoon, we're seeing some rainfall across some especially central and western parishes. Interesting. What do we see on Tuesday morning? On Tuesday morning, not really seeing much of anything, but there we go. We're starting to see that code red that has a high chance of development. Could that be the depression, if not tropical storm, coming in? And then on Tuesday afternoon, we see that rainfall across some eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Tuesday morning, some rainfall out east. Tuesday afternoon, some rainfall across some eastern, central, and western parishes. And we're seeing the moisture associated with future Gabriel right there as well. Interesting, looking a bit stronger than what the Euro showing. What we're seeing on Wednesday morning though, maybe some isolated showers to the south of us. Then on Wednesday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across some eastern, central, and western parishes. And we're stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Thursday, September 11. Don't really see much of anything across Jamaica at that time, but we do see the moisture associated with that code red. Could that be a tropical depression, if not a tropical storm at that time, just to the west of the eastern Caribbean? We'll say it actually plays out. As of right now, we see it pushing into the Dominican Republic and Haiti, maybe even some of the moisture making it to Jamaica. But that's beyond 168 hours. We know that won't come to fruition. Yesterday we saw it heading to the Dominican Republic and pushing northward. Today it's looking like it's heading into Hispaniola and pushing westward. We'll say it actually plays out. Either way, we're not going past the 168 hour Right, that would be unethical. Just trying to show you that these models are forever changing. We have to take them with a grain of salt. GFS, on the other hand, for Wednesday morning, showing some rainfall across southern Jamaica and eastern Jamaica. Wednesday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, northern, and western parishes. And we're stopping it right here at the end of the 1 Jan 68 hours as well. Rainfall to the south of us. GFS affecting the GFS has future Gabrielle. That's a strong entity right there, affecting the eastern Caribbean. So on both days, Thursday, September 11, we clearly see that both models are showing something different. Euro a bit weaker with the system. GFS definitely a bit stronger. Hurricane status for sure. But to go out and show you, look at that. Pushing into Puerto Rico. Definitely different from what the Euro had it doing. Pushing into Hispaniola. Then west of there. Very interesting. We're not even going to be going any further than that. Either way, in terms of the total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that there should be an increase in rainfall if this system actually comes in. Look at the line of showers associated with it. The dark reds, purples into the pinks, even into the salmon colors are represented anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 8 inches of rainfall if this track actually happens. We also see the dark reds into the purples and the pinks across section of Northern South America into Central America. We're also seeing some of that into portion of the Bahamas, Florida, Jamaica, sections of the Cuba area, Haiti, Dominican Republic. So we're starting to get an increase in rainfall in general over the next 7 days. Keep in mind that both maps are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Thursday, September 11. The Euro a bit less with the Greater Antilles rainfall than the GFS. Either way, we'll see it actually plays out, and whatever happens, I will definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Regarding Jamaica's total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, you can clearly see the island shaded from east to west in some amount of rainfall. The Euro a bit less than what the GFS is showing. The Euro showing the greens into the yellows into the slight oranges. That represents a total of 40 to maybe 62 millimeters of rainfall. GFS going up to anywhere from 60 all the way up to 89 millimeters of rainfall. Very interesting, especially across the northern to the western end of the island. What does this mean? Definitely an increase in rainfall over the next 7 days. Take these rainfall totals with a grain of salt. Could mean some rainfall for your era. Could mean rainfall for somebody else's era. But we'll take it. Even if it's just cloud cover to cool down the temperatures. We even bring rainfall up into the hills, bring rainfall into the rivers, fill them up, something. We need all the rainfall that we can get for sure. And whatever happens, I will definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Regarding what's happening across the rest of the Caribbean, as stated, we have a tropical wave affecting the eastern Caribbean as we speak. We have that frontal system still stalled out, affecting portion of Florida into the Bahamas, Cuba, into Jamaica as well. That strong tropical wave that has a high chance of development within the next 7 days. Just to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands, still getting its act together as we speak. But regarding the Doppler radar imagery, near Puerto Rico right now, we can see that we have some rainfall across section of northwestern Puerto Rico. Some rainfall just to the east of the Leeward Islands associated with that tropical wave. Earlier today, we saw where we had some amount of isolated shores across western to central Puerto Rico. But regarding the Barbados radar, look at the moisture passing just to the north. Barbados pushing into Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia. St. Vincent getting on some of the action, so too the Grenadines. Grenada, some of the moisture pushing into section of Tobago as well. And regarding the weather of Doppler radar images, we can also see some rainfall into portions of northern section of the Bahamas, section of Cuba getting on some of the action as well. We can also see some rainfall across northwestern Venezuela. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday. And we see Jamaica shaded in the greens, yellows, oranges, and reds represents anywhere from 0.1 of an inch of rainfall all the way up to an inch of rainfall. So we're definitely expecting some amount of rainfall for portion of Florida, into the Bahamas, Cuba, section of the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Bart, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, coastal areas of Suriname and French Guiana, section of Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala getting in on some of the rainfall as well. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with this forecast. I know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances are higher for it to actually take place. Alright, so regarding what's taking place on the eastern Pacific side of things, we're still watching Tropical Storm Lorena and Hurricane Kiko. And if we take a look at the infrared, we can see that Lorena is being sheared to the northeast as we speak. A lot of her clouds are being pushed into the southwestern US, well, not really the southwestern US, but the southwestern US. Definitely influencing the moisture across those areas into Mexico as well. Look at Kiko, definitely still looking formidable with that eye spinning away. Regarding the latest here on Kiko, still a category 4 hurricane, anywhere from 130 to 156 mile per hour wind. That's a major hurricane. Major hurricanes are anywhere from category 3 to 5. So it is a category 4 hurricane, definitely closer to category 3 status though. It is moving towards the west right now at 9 miles per hour. It's expected to make more of a north or west-northwest kind of turn, maintaining that major hurricane status all the way up until 8 a.m. on Sunday. Then by Monday morning should be back down to a category 1 or 2 hurricane, then making it to tropical storm status into Hawaii, and they're definitely going to be getting a lot of rainfall regardless. We know all of the high terrain over there in Hawaii can definitely squeeze out a lot of moisture out of these tropical systems. But there could be some isolated flash flooding, if not some landslides taking place for sure, especially regarding wherever the system passes in general. How close does it pass? Regarding what's happening with Lorena, we see that it is right here, packing 50 mile per hour wind. So it's still a tropical storm pushing up towards the northwest at 7 miles per hour. Should become a tropical depression by morning and then possibly dissipate by the night. Well, that's by Saturday night. Regarding what's happening on the western Pacific side of things, we now have Tropical Storm Peepa. Yesterday it was a tropical depression. Now it is lashing portions of Japan as we speak. We have a lot of friends or relatives who live or work in Japan. Please get in touch with them. Pretty sure that this system is definitely going to be causing some amount of flooding. Look at it crossing over Japan as we speak. And we know these systems can definitely be bad news. We don't want to hear any bad news coming out regarding our friends or relatives. As of right now, it is a 35 knot tropical storm. Should be increasing in intensity the more it pushes off towards the east. 40 knots, 45 knots as you can see here. We know that anywhere from 34 to 64 knots is referred to as a tropical storm. So it should be increasing in intensity the more it pushes off towards the east as you can see there. Alright, so that's it for today.